Asmongold used to be one of my favorite content creators on Twitch and on YouTube. That shouldn't surprise you. I'm literally playing World of Warcraft right now. Clearly, there was something about his content back in the day that would appeal to me. And you might be wondering, Zan, what about that greasy, neckbeard, attic-dwelling weirdo appealed to you? And I think it's the fact that despite being the biggest stereotype of a WoW player you could imagine, I mean, he lived with his mom, he was, a massive NEET, he seemed to be somewhat socially unskilled in some areas. He was very, dirtbaggy in a lot of the ways that, a sort of, slob gamer would be. He was himself a proud slob who just lived in filth, right? These were things that made him a very entertaining character. And even though he was real, the fact that he leaned into it and was willing to allow himself to be the butt of the joke made him somewhat likable. And the fact that he was the #1 WoW streamer, and I like WoW, I mean, when WoW Classic came out, who do you think I was going to be watching? That motherfucker had the best WoW content on launch. So that's what I was watching. But ever since, around when the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial happened, Asmongold took a hard political turn in his content. Doesn't really play video games or stream, definitely doesn't play WoW anymore, at least doesn't stream it. And now he just does React Andy political commentary, and the political commentary is awful. It is not good. It has gotten progressively more radically right-wing with every passing week. And now, we've got Asmongold reacting to progressive videos that critique him, or not even critique him, critique the trend of right-wing gaming grifters. And he's sending his audience to harass them. That is exactly what happened to the creator we're going to be watching today. He put out the video we're about to be watching here. This is by a creator named, I don't want to get his name wrong, Tony Sino. He put out this video that we're about to watch, which is a sort of takedown on gaming grifters. And in response, Asmongold watched it on stream, and he got brigaded like crazy, massively ratioed, and he put out a response to this. So I thought we'd go ahead and take a look at both videos. If you end up liking the videos, the link to the original channel, if I don't forget, because I do edit these videos at 3 a.m., and I'm very tired when I do it. It should be down below in the description, the link to the original video, but like I said, Tony Sino is the name of the channel, so if I forget, then try to find it manually. I always love to shout out the channels that we react to here, but let's take a look at this video that led to Asmongold brigading this channel.
Have you ever been so excited for an upcoming brand new video game, just to be disappointed and let down again when it turns out the main character is a woman? No?
All the time.
You haven't? Well, congratulations, dog. You're normal. Grifters are completely ruining gaming. And that might sound dramatic or like I'm giving them too much credit, but they legit actually have enough dumbasses listening to the words they're saying to the point where it actually has a detrimental effect on gaming. But let's take a step back real quick, because some of you might not even know what the hell I'm talking about. To understand how we got to where we are in gaming, we first need to understand what a grifter is. The definition of grifter that I like the most is petty swindler. And I can't lie, I can't think of a better description, because that's what these little trolls do, bro. They just fucking they create issues out of literally thin air, Houdini, and then they convince you that you should be mad about said made-up issue. Now we see,
and nothing online, certainly not telling the truth, will make as much money and garner as many clicks and as much algorithmic engagement as pushing lies and hate.
this in a lot of places. Politics is one of the biggest ones, but gaming is among the absolute worst. And it's hilarious because besides YouTube, there's really only one platform that these people really like to congregate on. You go on Instagram, TikTok, some shit like that, there's gonna be normal conversations being held about gaming. Just some normal people for the love of the game, maybe a couple of debates, some shit like that. Everything changes when you open twitter.com. I am not calling that shit X, gang. We should have never allowed people to get paid from engagement on their tweets on Twitter. That shit has been the most detrimental thing to society since crack hit in the 80s. And then to add fuel to the...
Bro, it is so bad. Knowing that every one of those, like, horrible slop Nazi posts you see that's clear virality bait is actually generating ad revenue for the posters, and now they're actively incentivized financially. Every random Nazi poster is financially incentivized to just flood their feed with Nazi propaganda to garner as much ad revenue as possible. It is downright evil, bro. It is destroying society. I'm not joking.
The fire, we got this whole rage bait culture going on now. Because you can say some shit that you know is completely false and then turn around and hide behind, bro, you fell for the rage bait. Let me give you guys a couple examples of what we're talking about here. Take the Wolverine game coming out for PlayStation 5. You guys remember the Wolverine reveal just a couple of weeks ago, right? Showed Wolverine, Mystique, the combat, some of the story, the graphics look good. I mean, shit. Nope. It ain't good enough for these losers. For a
They're
group of people
mad.
that can't even stand it when a woman is a lead character in the game, you would think that a Wolverine video game would be their cup of tea. You think that would be exactly what they need. Nah, bro. They're mad about the woman that is in the game. These people are mad that the X-Man Mystique, the blue shape-shifting mutant, is not sexy enough for them. Okay, I hear y'all. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Bro, they're out here talking about DEI Mystique. What the hell does that even mean? It's at the point now they just throw around whatever buzzword they want to, bro. This shit makes no sense. Because
I was literally talking to a friend of mine today. I was in Discord. We were playing Arc Raiders together. And this is a friend of mine who's, granted, he's gotten a lot more political through friendship with me. But, like, you know, one of my friends that was just not super political, but, you know, for a little while leaned conservative on some things, now is mostly just through being approximate to me, gotten a lot more left-leaning. But, like, just not really into politics, necessarily. Not super, like, tapped into it. He was just ranting to me today about how he's annoyed by the fact that when it comes to media, particularly game releases, but it also applies to shows and anime and stuff, everybody is so prone to hate. Like, the default position is to hate something now. The amount of suggestion aversion is insane. For those who don't know, suggestion aversion is basically like when a child doesn't want to do something just because someone suggested that they do it. Like, you recommend a new food to a toddler, and because they didn't point to it as an option and ask for it, they don't want it. Like, if they had asked for it, if they had, like, seen it, maybe they would have asked for it and they'd have wanted it, but because you suggested it to them, they refuse, right? A lot of people, even as adults, seem to be ingraining this suggestion aversion into themselves that breeds a openness to listen to these grifters about how media is ruined by wokeness. Everyone hates new things. Everybody does not want to try new things. Like, as much as you might... What was that new game that came out that everybody was shitting on and it died in, like, a month or whatever? Anthem? Not Anthem. Was it Anthem? What was it called? It was the game about, like, that was called woke, and it failed utterly, and it shut down after, like, a month. Concord. Yeah, Concord. Like, Concord was a totally new thing. And the overwhelming reaction before there was even gameplay was negativity at just, like, looking at it. At just the first look at its art style, people were negative about it, right? The suggestion aversion at trying a new thing. Like, the negativity for a product these days starts before we've even seen anything of the product besides an announcement that it exists in many cases. Like, who remembers with the Lord of the Rings show? Like, whether you hate it now or not, the hate for that show started when it got announced and persisted until it actually existed to be watched by people. There was no, like, there was not a clear, like, people making up their minds. It was like people made their decision a long time ago. You know, maybe many did after they watched it, but, like, that's a prime example, right? Another good example is the Ghostbusters movie. It might have ended up being bad if that's, you know, I didn't like it, so I'd argue it was bad. Some people liked it. But, like, everybody just decided it was going to be bad months before it came out. And so whether or not it was good or bad, I'm pretty sure the consensus was going to be that it was bad.
Dog, the attractiveness of a character does not impact the gameplay at all. Why do we give a damn about the side characters' looks right now? On top of that, this shit is the most ironic thing ever. Have y'all seen Mystique in any other media besides Jennifer Lawrence Mystique? Besides her. Hold on now. But have y'all seen Mystique in any other, like, cartoon or any other appearance? I'm not gonna lie to y'all. She's mega chopped! Like, deadass, bro. Ironically, this is one of the best looking appearances of Mystique. She looks good. Listen, I'm cracking. But okay, cool. They don't like Mystique. Whatever. DEI Mystique. They love manly men in their video games, right? So Wolverine, at the very least, being the main character and the main focus about this game, that should be enough for them to not be complaining too much. Yeah, bro. This Wolverine is a soy boy to them. This Wolverine.
Didn't we cover a video recently by that, what's his name, Ranting for Vengeance loser? About how the new Wolverine game was woke and gay, and this Wolverine was going to be gay? Apparently that's actually one of the conspiracies they're pushing. This game has not come out yet, by the way. It's a completely made-up rumor. It's a my dad works at Nintendo, trust me guys type thing. But apparently this game's Wolverine will be gay. That is an unironic lie, I'm going to go out on a limb and say, that the right are pinning themselves to.
The trouble just has a way of finding me.
Isn't Wolverine enough for these people? Dog, it gets to... What are we talking about? I'm watching this man turn people into Anakin Skywalker, bro. Leaping at people with max ferocity. This man is about homicide right now. And it's not enough for y'all? This is ass. This is ass to y'all. Like, it gets to a point where I really wonder, what is it that y'all want from these games? They are just committed to the grift, bro. It's insane. Remember how I said they will make up things to be mad at and then try to convince you to be mad at the thing they made up? Just listen to a clip of one of my favorite grifters, the wonderful Vara Dark. Let me just play you a quick clip of something she said recently.
One thing that I thought was really weird about this trailer that I had said while I was live streaming the State of Play is the fact that 90% of the enemies that Wolverine is beating up are minorities. So I just have a very sneaking suspicion that it's going to be about his white privilege and him coming to terms with that.
What?
Trying to become a better man.
Like, they're literally making up, they're shadow boxing, and not even the cool kind that Baki does, where, like, the thing in his imagination becomes real, kinda, and he can get beat up by, like, what he's imagining. She, like, literal, just making shit up to fight.
I have a feeling that that is not a coincidence.
Oh, Vara. My sweet, sweet angel. Are you smoking crack? This is how you know these people don't play or care about the games they're talking about at all. They just want to monetize off of your outrage. Why does it look like Wolverine's fighting a lot of minorities in the Wolverine game trailer? I don't know, man. Could it be that the game's not in fucking America? Dog, the game is set in Madripoor, a fictional country, not the United States. So if anything, Wolverine...
It's a fictional country in Marvel. It's like a running setting in Marvel.
Wolverine is the minority where he's at in that story. And guys, these people do this with every game now. I just showed you them saying Mystique in the new Wolverine game ain't sexy enough for him. So that...
And it's like a crime city, too. So, like, international criminals from all around the world congregate there. So it makes sense for there to be, like, a very diverse cast in this game as well. Because there's no, like, native ethnicity of Madripoor. By its very nature. It's like a pirate city almost.
That begs the question, what do they want these characters to look like? And of course, it was no other game than Ghost of Yotei to provide us an answer to this question. Holy fuck, we cannot be serious. If Ghost of Yotei made Atsu look like this, the game would have sold 1 million copies by now. Holy shit. I can smell the person who tweeted this from here. I mean this with all sincerity, bro. You cannot be dead ass. Bro, this game is set in the 1600s. I'm a gamer. I don't need my character to look like this shit. Nobody in the 1600s is looking like this, bro.
I remember back when these people argued that their beliefs about why we needed to stop wokeness in games was that it was hurting the realism. And now it's like, okay, but, you know, if it's for sex appeal, who cares about realism?
Oh shit, nobody today is naturally looking like this. And I'm a gamer, bro. I'd much rather have my character look like this. Forget the yitties. Like, bro, corn is free. You feel me? If you're really trying to see all that, you know, hit the Google one time or hear me out. Even better, go talk to a woman in real life. I know, that's a crazy ass concept for some of y'all, but hear me out. That shit is way more rewarding. This is what gives gamers a bad...
The problem is a lot of female gamers are also kind of, you know, losers. Like, let's be real. It's not restricted to just the guys. And a surprising amount of women are out here arguing and fighting the good fight that they want attractive, over-sexualized female characters in games. To be fair, a lot of women like the idea of having a pretty or hot, quote-unquote, empowering female character to play, or at least that's how they rationalize it. Maybe they're just afraid of change, or are just jumping on the bandwagon, but there are a surprising amount of women out there that even argue this point. Obviously, Vara Dark being one of them, but, you know, mostly grifters.
Bad rap, bro. I look at tweets like this, I just feel disappointment, bro. Like, this tweet really just describes everything in a nutshell, bro. Cause like, dog, what the fuck are you talking about? And the real irony of this tweet, it came out October 8th. The caption reads, if Ghost of Yotei made Atsu look like this, the game would have sold 1 million copies by now.
I'm
the
betting
game
it
came
sold
out
more
October 2nd
than that.
and sold 1 million copies the first day. Which means by the time this dumbass tweeted this tweet, the game had already sold well over 1 million copies. Dumbass! This is why...
Well, that's part of how they handle these things. If something that they've predicted will fail doesn't fail, they have to pretend it did. They'll, like, even try to claim that, like, bots were used to buy fake buy copies to inflate the numbers. They will fall back on that because they cannot own up to the fact that their prediction that woke goes broke failed. They will never own up to it.
I tell y'all, bro, they don't care about these games at all. They just want to piss you off and then run up money off you talking shit underneath their tweet about the game. It makes no sense, bro. Y'all cannot be falling for this, bro. And y'all cannot genuinely convince these people to make you care about dumb shit like this. It doesn't matter. Like,
this is a good video. This is a very good video. And apparently Asmongold reacted to it on stream, and in response, his fan base, Asmongold's, went and brigaded the fuck out of this guy, harassing the shit out of him and you know, ratioing his video and whatnot. So I figured we'd go ahead and check out his response video to Asmongold, who responded to that video that we just watched. I know, we're getting reactception here. Responseception, if you will. Let me, here we go. Asmongold. Asmongold sent his goons after me. One day, Asmongold's gonna end up reacting to one of my videos on stream, and I'm gonna get brigaded like crazy. I just know it. I just know it. By the way, if you're enjoying the video so far, leave a like and a comment down below. Make sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon. It really does help and means the world, and it's totally free. Let's continue, though.
Asmongold reacted to my video calling out grifters for ruining gaming. And now that his fan base has found Asmongold reacted to my video calling out grifters for ruining gaming. And now that his fan base has found my video, it's going pretty much exactly how you think it would. Yeah, safe to say I made some people unhappy. But the funniest part about all of this,
And what was that dislike ratio again? I gotta see it. I gotta see it again. Ah, fuck. Come on, let me see it. Let me see that dislike to dislike ratio.
Now that his fan base has found my video, it's going pretty much exactly how you think it would.
58% dislikes. Ooh. Man. Like, what this goes to show in particular is how much more motivated just to click buttons that the audiences of right-wing creators are. And that's really what makes it and breaks it online. Like, I don't want to shit on you guys, but there are many of you watching right now that I can just beg and plead and humiliate myself on stream begging you to like my videos and like my streams. Because it really does make a difference. It really does help, and you'll never do it. Like, you'll just never, like, it could take half a second, but you'll never do it. I'm not shitting on you guys for that. I'm not giving you a hard time for it. But a lot of these right-wing figures do not seem to have the same problem. I think largely it's the fact that they stoke so much anger in the people that watch them. And so the anger motivates them to, like, sit up in their chair and, like, click-clack away on their keyboard, write up a comment, maybe even leave a like on the video while they're there. And when they're angry about a creator that they don't like, they're so motivated to go out and dislike. And that's why you're going to start to see this being the trend over the next year or so. You're going to see a lot of left-wing channels get more dislikes than likes on their videos because they're going to be getting brigaded, and the amount of support that the viewers show will almost never outmatch the amount of hate that you will receive. And that's what's so rough. Like, that's the hard part of being a lefty channel, is that you will oftentimes receive more hate than support. It's rough, but it's the truth.
Yeah, safe to say I made some people unhappy. But the funniest part about all of this, Asmongold himself didn't even disagree with me that much. But let's watch it together and address some points he made. Let me warn you now, though. You're about to witness one of the most egregious cases of goalpost shifting.
Grifters are ruining gaming.
Have you ever been so excited for an upcoming brand new video game just to be disappointed and let down again when it turns out the main character is a woman?
Yeah.
Shocker.
Because anybody that's changing the gender of the character doesn't give a fuck about the game. Absolutely.
What? No? What game are you talking about?
Nope, it's not normal to want to change the character.
Grifters are... What is bro on about? I'm saying it's dumb to write a game off just for having a woman main character. And you're saying if they're changing the gender, they don't care about the game. What game are you talking about, bro? If you mean...
Asmongold's specialty is just stating things that he knows his audience will clap for, even if it's a non sequitur. It just has nothing to do with what you said.
Something like Ghost of Yote, which I know you weren't happy about at first. Here's my thing about that. Totally valid to be disappointed that we didn't get Jin Sakai again. A little weird to be disappointed just at the fact that it's a woman. Call me too woke, I think that's silly as hell. Continue though. Grifters are completely ruining gaming. And that might sound dramatic or like I'm giving them too much credit, but they legit actually have enough dumbasses listening to the words they're saying to the point where it actually has a detrimental effect on gaming. But let's take a step back real quick.
So he crying because it works.
Here we go.
You crying because it works.
Okay, bro.
Well, hey, thanks. I appreciate it. That's great. Absolutely. Yeah, I know it works. And the thing is that every single time that I see this, this makes me feel good.
Tell me why.
This is somebody even that disagrees with me that got to admit that, damn, they're making some change.
Whoa, let me stop you right there. I'm talking about the effect grifters have on gaming discourse, not the actual development process of the game. And I'm not gonna lie, it's clearly not working. What have you guys changed in gaming? If y'all are making such a difference, why are all these games that...
Remember, Asmongold is a troll at heart. Like, a big part of his original brand online was pissing people off and and triggering people, like trolling people in video games and stuff, like scamming them out of gold and WoW, and then like trolling them and saying whatever to make them angry. Like, Asmongold wants to rage bait people. He likes to say stupid shit that's hateful and wrong, that he probably knows is wrong, and or at the very least, if he knows that like you are upset about, you know, some kind of success that he's having, he really wants to rub it in because he knows it'll make you upset. And that's a big part of what motivates his and his fans' politics, is like a desire to upset people that care about things. Like, you care about social justice, any of these like lefty things, that makes you cringe.
That you consider woke slop, why do they keep coming out? Could it just be that some are for you and some aren't, and that's okay? Let's say I have lunch at a park every day, a beautiful quiet park. Let's say one day you gather all your friends and you come to the park where I eat at every day. You and your friends start protesting that you should be able to poop anywhere you want in the park. You think you should be able to just let your pants down and rip it, bro, wherever in the park. Even if you get 30, 40, 100 people in the park chanting for your cause, all you're doing is making noise and making the park harder to enjoy for everyone else. Even if you make enough noise that I have to acknowledge you because I care about my park, it doesn't mean you actually changed anything.
I'm saving gaming. You're welcome. You're welcome, by the way.
Yeah.
I do this for free.
Bro does not do this for free. Some of you might not even know what the hell I'm talking about.
Right.
To understand how we got to where we are in gaming, we first need to understand what a grifter is. The definition of grifter that I like the most is petty swindler. Yep. And I can't lie, I can't think of a better description. Because that's what these little trolls do, bro. They just fucking sit. They create issues out of literally thin air, Houdini, and then they convince you that you should be mad about said made-up issue.
Well, aren't you doing that too?
Saw that one coming. Well, aren't you doing it too? No. A grifter doesn't necessarily believe what they're saying. They're playing off of others' emotions or lack of education for profit. I'm not doing that. I provide examples to the pointless conversations being held and how they contribute to a worse gaming discourse overall, but we'll get to it in a minute.
I think that
There was a point where the right realized that like the word grifter was like such an effective like call out for what they were doing, that they started appropriating it, either trying to cast doubt on the idea of what a grifter is, try to reverse it back on the left. And it's like, aren't you a grifter too? And it's like, meanwhile, like, what they do makes no money. You know, like, when it comes to being a progressive creator, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you don't make a lot of money, you'll be shit on for it. People will make fun of you for that. If you make a lot of money, you'll be shit on for it. People will make fun of you for that. Like, it's like, on the left, you can never be right. Like, it's anything you do as a progressive will be considered wrong.
grifter is one of those words that's overused massively.
Yeah, it is. But yeah.
Basically, what this person is saying.
Yep, he's doing it right
is
now.
That, like,
he's
and
doing
also
the exact
here's another
thing.
So I can approach the accusation.
Okay,
of
pause right
grifter
there.
from-
I already see the play. He's gonna downplay and write off the term grifter because it's a term he's tired of seeing. Wonder why he's tired of seeing it. But that doesn't mean you can just write it off like they don't exist. It's not hard to define the word grifter. Let's not overcomplicate it here.
I can approach the accusation of grifter from two different directions.
Right.
The first direction that I would approach it from is that being a grifter implies that you're doing something for profit.
Yeah.
I will tell you, as somebody who has gotten a lot of sponsors and things like that, is that being against certain types of representation in video games, even whenever it's done in a cynical, self-serving, DEI way, is actually less profitable as a business model.
Asmongold, you're a millionaire, so you're probably a bit out of touch on certain things, but profit is profit. Yeah, these grifters may not get a Sony sponsorship after calling Wolverine a DEI woke slop game just because they don't like how Mystique looks, but that doesn't mean profits don't manifest in different ways. Because
It's also more complicated than that. Like, Asmongold was an established gaming creator with probably a lot of sponsorships before he started his big right-wing heel turn, and that probably lost him a lot of sponsorships. But if you start out, like, as a nobody and break into the right-wing grift, which is what most of these people did, not Asmongold, they're never going to have had those sponsorship opportunities to lose. They will have only ever gained. Like, they'll have started as a no one and gained a following as a grifter and gained sponsorships that are fine with backing right-wing grifters that they would have never otherwise had. Because a lot of these right-wing grifters are talentless hacks who don't bring anything to the table other than their political partisanship. And so when they don't have politics to push, they would fall apart. They'd have no platform. They'd have no one watching them. They'd have no one giving them money or supporting them. And because of that, they are grifting. They are seeking an easy path to money, which is validating the biases of crazy conservatives.
like you said, some of these creators and their fans get labeled as racist or sexist for some of the racist or sexist things they say. So when they gain an audience that feels like they're being seen by this creator who's really manufacturing things for them to be mad at, they support them the hardest, bro. What? These grifters will have die-hard fans, bro. Patreons, everything. It may not be the most profitable option, which is a dumb argument by itself. In pretty much every field, not everybody is going to go for the most profitable option anyway. It's just an avenue to make money online. They can make similar or more than they were making at a regular 9 to 5 by sitting back on their computer and pretending that gaming is under attack. And they're gonna choose to do that every single time because it's fast, you can get a loyal fan base and consistent money. I mean, dog, even swearing in your videos puts you at risk to lose money, but people still do it even if it's a little bit less profitable than not swearing at all.
How is it grifting? Like, do you think that they don't have those opinions? Because grifting is whenever you're having opinions that you don't actually have. You're putting forward something that you think is a lie or that you know is inaccurate. That's not what's happening here.
That is what's happening here. I mean, how many people were crying on Twitter about Insomniac belittling their fans over a 2-emoji tweet? How many people claim to have knowledge of the Ghost of Yote sales numbers being a complete flop simply because they don't like the actress, even though the game turned out to be a massive success? Yes, 100% since the dawn of the internet. People get online and lie, exaggerate, or make up things to get mad at for profit. They fabricate reasons for easily manipulated people to be angry at for their own profit. And we know this. I don't know why you're trying to act like this is some crazy, never seen before thing. You really think people would lie on the internet for fame and money and spread things they don't believe? Yes! Have you and I been on the same internet?
Believe it or not,
one reason I can see you benefiting from pretending that grifting isn't a real thing, but that's neither here nor there. Now, we see this in a lot of places. Politics is one of the biggest ones, but gaming is among the absolute worst.
Yeah, people just use that word. Like, they don't even, like, you got to use a dictionary. You got to figure out what that word means.
Okay, I can say the exact same thing about how most of your fan base uses the term DEI. Most of them don't even know what the 3 letters stand for. Again, him trying to down...
What is DEI? Woke stuff and political stuff. Okay, thank you. Real Asmongold fan interaction, and I believe that. That does sound like an interaction between Asmongold fans.
Play the term grifter and say it's overused, which it is, even though I gave a definition on screen and explained how these people fit into that definition. But okay, bro. And I know grifting isn't the same as rage bait, but when
I'm not joking. Hassan Piker and Asmongold have ruined a generation. We're like a few years from now, we're gonna have so many like 18 to 20-year-olds coming out to say they've spent their teen years like engulfed in either Asmongold or Hassan's content like fan cult, and they're gonna be like ex-fans of them, and it's gonna be a whole thing. I cannot wait, man. I cannot fucking wait.
When you start profiting off the rage bait by paying for a blue check mark, yeah, I'm not cool with that, man. Because besides YouTube, there's really only one platform that these people really like to congregate on. You go on Instagram. You heard him? He knows it. It's Twitter. He said it himself before I said it.
True.
Instagram, TikTok, some shit like that. There's gonna be normal conversations being held.
What are you, on Instagram? Are you kidding me? Oh my God. I saw a clip of Adolf Hitler on a whale next to a dog. It had like 100,000.
Okay, I hear you on that. I'm not saying you won't see bullshit on Instagram. That's not what I'm saying. But your example is completely irrelevant. I'm saying on Twitter, X specifically, that's where the most grifters run wild. That's where they all come to congregate more than any other platform. You said it yourself before I even got to that. You already knew that I was gonna say Twitter before I said it, which proves my point. But obviously you can see some degenerate meme photo on any platform. And that's completely irrelevant because I'm talking about gaming discourse and how it changes between platforms. Just some normal people for the love of the game. Maybe
y'all seen that one?
Some shit like that. Everything changes when you open twitter.com. I'm not calling that shit X, gang. Come on.
Well, the reason why you gotta be honest about this is that,
tell me,
the reason why Twitter has these conversations and places like TikTok don't is because TikTok gets people banned for having the conversations.
Wait a minute. TikTok absolutely has these conversations though. It's not as many grifters on TikTok, but there's absolutely conversations being held about gaming on TikTok.
I didn't really go and act like it's some kind of accomplishment that, or some sort of unique problem.
I like how he says this as the largest streamer on Twitch, by the way. He is literally Twitch's #1 streamer and one of the biggest, like, the biggest clip channel, or, like, stream clip channel on YouTube. And he says, like, well, you know, these platforms will ban you if you talk about these things.
That like Twitter has. The only reason why you're not seeing more people saying things that you disagree with is that it's illegal and not illegal, but it's against the rules to disagree with you.
Oh, what the fuck? Are we dead ass serious? Bro said it's against the rules on TikTok to disagree about gaming. Dog, what are you talking about? Clips of you saying the same shit I'm talking about are on TikTok. You literally can't make this shit up, bro. What are you talking about? I will acknowledge all day long. Yes, TikTok is a bit more restrictive on what you can and can't say, especially when it comes to controversial topics. But you can absolutely still have all the same conversations and debates about wokeism and DEI and games and shit. Absolutely you can. I talk about this shit on TikTok all the time. I've literally disagreed with you on there. Come on, bro. This isn't even the first time you've reacted to my content. You reacted to me shitting on Star Wars Outlaws when it came out. You hear that, Asmongold fans? I don't like Star Wars Outlaws either. If TikTok was some positive-only, no-debate-ass app, I would have never been able to make those videos. It's definitely a bit more restrictive, but nowhere near to the extent that he's trying to say.
That's the big problem, is that on every platform that is an open forum for discussion, the idea...
I really want to see Asmongold's response to the Ghost of Yote point, if he even got to that part. I want to see that. That's what I really need to see. Does he get exposed to the actual sales numbers for Ghost of Yote? This part, okay.
To do one Google search to see it's not in America. The double standard is crazy here, Asmongold. Come on, bro. You just attempted to grill me for not doing my due diligence, even though it's not my job to explain someone else's argument. Vara Dark is over here starting up some pretty serious claims about the Wolverine story with no sort of evidence to back her claims up at all, just going off of vibes and emotion bait. And you're just like, yeah, who knows? We'll let her slide on that one. Rule for thee, not for me type shit. Okay, now I see how you operate. I get it. These people do this with every game now.
Yeah.
I just showed you them saying Mystique in the new Wolverine game ain't sexy enough for them. So that begs the question, what do they want these characters to look like? And of course, it was no other game than Ghost of Yote to provide us an answer to this question. Yeah.
This one, bro, 56 million views.
Definitely bait. No doubt it's bait. But again, y'all see that blue check mark? He's getting paid for this bullshit.
And here's what I would say about this. If she looked more like the character on the left, they would have sold more copies. That's all. You take everything else and you say everything else is the same, but you change the way that she looks and you make her look like she was from Stellar Blade.
Oh, dog.
You would have sold more copies than you did already.
You know what's funny?
I don't think so, considering how many Ghosts of Tsushima fans would have been furious about that. I don't think that would have pleased the Ghost of Tsushima fans very much.
About that, game identity is real. It wouldn't fit the setting or narrative if Atsu was running around half naked. That's not the story they wanted to tell. And going by your logic,
it's not the story or vibe established in the original game either. That was, remember, a massive release.
If attractiveness trumps all, Stellar Blade should be a much bigger game than Yote, especially having a whole year head start on it. What do you know?
Ghost of Yote's already outsold Stellar Blade,
sold more copies in less than 2 months on one platform than Stellar Blade did in a whole year with a PC release. Damn. I guess it's not all about boobies.
That's not about the game being bad.
Okay.
It's about it being better.
Yeah, okay. Again, sales numbers don't lie.
A game can be successful despite this, but it's never going to be worse because of it.
I disagree.
I'll tell you that.
I disagree. That's definitely not true. Yes, it definitely can make a game worse. If her character was the only one designed over sexually in this world, that would not fit the game. The whole shit would be immersion breaking. Holy fuck, we cannot be serious. If Ghost of Yote made Atsu look like this, the game would have sold 1 million copies by now. Crazy. Holy
Are we really going to try to talk about how, like, for example, Stellar Blade wasn't massively popular because of the way that Eve looked?
Are you deadass? You know how many people didn't play Stellar Blade because they labeled it a gooner game? See, this is the funny part. I like Stellar Blade. I'm perfectly fine with hot women in my game. You think I'm not. And I tried to convince so many people that Stellar Blade was a good game with a really good story and great combat. And so many people didn't give it a try because they labeled it as a gooner game. So no, you're not objectively right here.
I feel like a lot of people know about Tomb Raider and they probably play Tomb Raider because Lara Croft was hot as hell.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair, but that fits more for those games. You may not immediately like lust over Atsu from Ghost of Yote over like a Lara Croft from Tomb Raider, but when I first saw Atsu, I thought she looked cool as shit. Her design definitely made me intrigued, and I definitely wanted to spend time with her character and learn more. And I didn't even have to see her boobs for that. I mean this with all sincerity, bro. You cannot be dead ass. Bro, this...
I'm dead ass. I'll say it right now. I think that if you put in, like, this is a thing for me, is that if I see an ugly female main character, I assume the game's gonna be shit.
Okay, that sounds like a you problem, bro. I don't know what
There's a saying about that. There's a very common saying about not judging books by their cover. What's so funny is, like, Asmongold's made a political career out of proudly stating, like, he's become to politics what he was to gaming before. Because Asmongold was, like, always leaning into being, like, this, like, absolute satire that's, you know, partially real, but he leaned into it hard, of, like, a neckbeard neat gamer slob. Now he's leaning hard into, like, the idea of being this right-wing loser, like, gaming grifter who's constantly whining about there not being enough women, hot women in his games. You know what I mean? Like, by the way, the people who just run around killing those that are fishing on the beach are some of the worst players in WoW. I don't mean, like, morally worse, like, they're literally skill-wise the worst players. Like, in WoW Classic, you can't have a weapon out while you're fishing. So they literally run around looking for players with their weapons unequipped that are like tabbed out watching a movie while they fish to fight. So you'll see me occasionally get killed by like WoW's worst PvPers.
What you want me to say? Sounds like you want every woman in a video game to be straight gooner material, and anything less than that is just ugly to you automatically? Only game I can even recently think of that a lot of people hopped on the train of calling the main character ugly were the Horizon games, bro. And despite all the bullshit, the Horizon franchise has been massively successful for PlayStation. And even then, I feel like she just looked normal, like just an average woman in a primitive world. There's no makeup in the apocalypse, y'all.
Because nobody wants to look at an ugly bitch.
Facts.
Nobody does.
Facts.
Women don't want to look at that.
Facts.
Men don't want to look at that.
Facts.
Nobody wants to look at that.
You're right.
And whatever the sales numbers for the game were, they would have been higher if she was more attractive.
Not always the case, man, but we'll get more into that one in a minute.
Because here's
That's
the
why
logic
people
that I'm
buy
using with
games.
this. You can go and say that you don't care the way a character looks, and I
Right.
think that's totally justified, totally valid.
I'm actually not saying I don't care how a character looks. Character design is important, of course I know that. I'm saying you can critique a design you don't agree with without slapping some political label on it and calling it a day. I'm saying character design variety is good. I'm saying I don't care if Mystique has that butt-naked look to her in the game like she does in the movie. As long as she looks the part and isn't offensive to look at and is in line with the character, then why are we complaining about her being DEI? Okay?
But there are other people out there that do.
Okay.
So whenever there's a decision and you are classifying yourself as a person who doesn't care about the decision,
Right.
I think that you do care about the decision.
Oh.
But you want to act like you don't so you can pretend like you're above it. The truth is that if there's a group of people that don't care and
Right.
a group of people that do care and want one thing, logically, what any developer should do is do what the group of people that do care want so they can maintain the people that don't care because categorically, by definition, they don't care, so it's not going to matter to them.
Okay.
And they also get the people that do care and you attract them too. It's just common sense.
Do you know what I do care about, Asmongold? I care about variety. I don't care if my game has an Eve or an Aloy. As long as the game is good, I'm good. But why do you want a one-size-fits-all type of design for these characters? The people making the game have to be involved, man. They're not just slaves making products for us. I think their creative input matters even if you don't. And again, what you're forgetting...
A bit, like I said, I really do feel like Asmongold is trying to become the worst stereotype of what he is politically on purpose. Like, I think he believes at least 75% of what he says, and I think he's, like, really laying it on thick so that he can be the most, like, detestable, like, caricature of everything the left hates about the right. Like, he's an extremely wealthy neckbeard slob. You know what I mean? Like who's very proudly lazy and has never worked for anything in life. And yet he's like stumbled accidentally into immense success, and now he makes even more money shit-talking minorities online. Like, could you imagine a more hateable figure? But that kind of character is also appealing in a way. The most hateable characters are also the ones that get the most screen time and get the most attention. And that's why Asmongold's still around.
Is some games are legit stories with real identities, and for the immersion to stick, you have to keep your identity. You miss out on so much character variety and different personality if you just make cookie cutter designs for all your characters. I care about judging Mystique on if she looks like Mystique, not calling the whole game woke because her butt's a little flatter than you wanted. It's insane how you can just miss that point again and again and again. It's ridiculous to expect or even want every single game to have a hyper-stylized, hyper-sexualized look to all their characters. And when certain games don't have that style, it's so dumb to jump on the hate campaign and call it woke slop and shit, because that harms actual productive criticism and debates in gaming. That's been my same argument and same point the entire time. No matter how many times you try to spin it around or make it something else than it is or put words in my mouth, that's what it's been. Game is set in the 1600s. I'm a
Single
gamer.
proof that
I
guys
don't
are-
need my
yeah.
character to look like this shit. Nobody in the 1600s is looking like this, bro. Shit, nobody today is naturally looking like this. And I'm a gamer, bro. I'd much rather have my character look like this. Forget the yitties. Like, if
bro.
it fits
Well,
the story.
I think that really it's the choice,
Right.
right? And I think having the choice is what matters the most. Like,
Right.
I don't think that you should over-sexualize a character and
There's
like
mods.
mandate it.
Oh.
I think that the best option, and this is the thing that I think women want, is that there are some women that like over-sexualized characters like Bayonetta or Eve or 2B.
Sure.
And there's also other women that like, you know, really kind of realistic characters like Brienne of Tarth.
Yeah.
And I think that giving people the option to choose is the best option.
Okay, pause. First of all, I'm proud of you, Asmongold. That right there is actually valid.
Well, that's him doing the thing where it's impossible to disagree with him on that take, of course. He's saying something that's just incontrovertible. Whenever he thinks he might be going a little too far, he'll reel people back in, just in case there's those people that are kind of on the fence there, right? Like, oh, I'm just suggesting people should have the choice. But what he's actually suggesting, in effect, is that, let's say you've got Doom, right? Does Asmongold genuinely think that the next Doom game should give you the option to play as a female Doomslayer in the main campaign, despite it making absolutely no sense? Obviously not. Doomslayer's a guy. He's an established character. Giving even the option to play as, like, femme Doomslayer, as funny as it would be, he would probably be on the side of people freaking out over it. Right? There would be a freak out over that, for sure. So it's obviously not the case that what people are arguing for is options. It's clearly not it. What they want is an enforcement of their ideology on artists. They want artists to be compelled to design characters the way they find attractive.
Criticism. We might have gotten somewhere right there. However, I don't fully agree. I do think there's a lot of times where player choice is an improvement no matter what, but not always with creative endeavors like this. The game is a creation. Atsu was an idea in someone's head that they had to make come to life. They have a vision for how they want her portrayed and how they want her story told. That's what you keep forgetting. We spend our money on entertainment. That doesn't mean we get to decide how all of it is produced. If a movie comes out and you watch the trailer and it's not your style, it doesn't look like something for you, you probably won't see it. You'll just save your money, and that's fine. But if you could go to the movies and choose yourself how every scene of the movie played out, then whose story is being told? So you could give us options to wear less clothes in the game. I think that's what you want. And sometimes that's cool and it works. Like you could get butt-ass naked in Stellar Blade. Cool. Still sold less than Yote. But some stories are told with intent and purpose and meant to be experienced the way they were crafted.
But I do think that in general, like, you would sell more copies if the character was more appealing. It's guaranteed.
I mean, dog, but what does more appealing mean to you, though? You just said it's not about having a different body or less clothes, so what is it? What other options are you wanting in the game, then?
If you think that's not true, then why is it that every single gacha game has attractive female characters?
Here we go. We've already addressed this point. We're not going to repeat too much. Again, I don't think they're really comparable. Gacha games...
Isn't it interesting, by the way? He's literally referencing the most whale, like, brain-dead audience of gamers on the internet. You know what's crazy? I know that Asmongold is a grifter, because back in the day, when he would be playing WoW and stuff, he made a cultural, like, he made a point. He would virtue signal about how much he found anime weird and gross, and anime fans cringe. How much he didn't like, you know, anything that just kind of fell out of his comfort zone, notably anime. And, it's so wild. Like Gacha games and FF14, like, these were things he would never touch. And because of pressure from his audience, he eventually did. And now Asmongold's, like, audience is, like, 50% lolicons now. And so now he used to hate Gacha games, like, to the point where he would play them on stream just to shit-talk them, right? Like, it would literally just be a shit-talking fest. Now, he is pro-Gacha games because they have sexualized female characters, right? Now, what I find very interesting is how he references gacha game players, who are, if you're not aware, gacha games are gambling games. They're games that fundamentally hinge around gambling and spending real money as a gameplay mechanic. That's why they're called gacha games, because they gotcha, right? And so the players that play those are literally, like, dumbass whales. I'm sorry to if I'm insulting anyone, but, like, generally... the audience is considered, like, one of the most wailed-out, dumber audiences of games out there because they cough up immense amounts of money for the product and end up spending tons of money on it, and they're a big cash cow, right? Like, he's said as much. He has criticized this specifically about gacha games and the people who play them. I think it's really funny that he's drawing a comparison between the people that enjoy these criticisms of gaming and gacha game players. Both parties are victims of a massive scam. And that is exactly the point that this guy's making.
That's their aesthetic. That's their thing. It's hyper designed. All the characters look hot. It's supposed to be eye candy quick. A game that's supposed to be more realistic and immersive, that art style won't necessarily fit that. And that's okay.
I mean, how many points on the graph do you need to make a line again?
He loves saying that, bro.
It's just so obvious.
You love saying that. That's your favorite term. Porn is free, you feel me? If you're really trying to see all that, you know, hit the Google one time, or hear me out, even better, go talk to a woman in real life. I know, that's a crazy ass.
Well, I mean, like, this is what's funny to me, is like, you're gonna go and call these people weird, but then you want them to go fuck with real life women? Wouldn't it be better they sit on a game, think that they're in a relationship with some fucking random anime girl? Wouldn't that be better for real?
Well, hopefully real life socialization with women would make them better.
Women, if these people are so...
What? Despite how fucking insane that sounded, I actually kinda get what you mean. But that wasn't the dunk you think it was, bro. That was dumb as hell. If you're obsessed and needing every game that comes out to have the women designs be over-sexualized, and if it's not, it's considered woke, I think you could benefit from stepping outside, meeting a couple real people, having some conversations with real women, touching grass. I mean, yeah, I think that's beneficial.
So, like, I'm not sure why he's trying to put this on real women.
Oh, shut the hell up, man. But these people don't want to get better. Just look at the chat that I see right now. Women in real life? Hell no. He's probably joking. Probably not.
So, I mean, I feel like you're doing, like, I mean, really, these gacha
Half
games are doing a
joking.
public service, in my opinion.
Yeah, actually they are, and that's part of my point. If you want a game where all the characters are designed like that, go play a gacha game. Go play the games that exist with that design in them. But don't throw that desire on every game that comes out or it's just not a valid game. This is what gives gamers a bad rap, bro. I look at tweets like this.
Yeah, a bad rap. See, you can talk about bad raps all you want and like opinions. See, this is people like this.
Oh
really
boy.
care a lot.
Oh no, he about to. Here we go, Asmongold. Let's hear it. You've contradicted yourself 20 times in this video alone. But yes, tell me about people like me. I'm listening.
People like this really care a lot about how they're perceived. They care a lot about how other people think about them and how other people view them. The truth is that the way that people view you isn't really relevant. It doesn't really matter. So like if you want to go around and be like, oh, well, people think this is bad and like this is what other people's opinions are. Why does that have anything to do? Like, you're using an argument that, like, other people think this is bad, so it's bad.
What makes you come to that conclusion? Me saying this type of stuff gives gamers a bad rep doesn't make me some white knight, you know what I mean? I do think shit like this can turn new people off from gaming, though. Or rather, turn some people off from engaging in certain parts of gaming. And bro, you're reaching so hard to sound smarter than you actually are. It's not working, fam. All I've been saying since my first vid is this. Grifters are ruining gaming discourse by manufacturing outrage for money. That's just my opinion as someone who games every day and is on the internet every day. And starting whole ass hate campaigns on a game because you don't agree with a design choice, it's dumb and it's not productive to gaming. And it's so ironic because I can say the exact same thing about you. You yourself said there's nothing wrong with Mystique's design in Wolverine PS5. Then immediately jump to, well, why can't we have hot girls in games? Even though you know that's not what I was saying, just so you could appeal to your fanboys. Then follow that up by
Audience
jumping
capture.
even further to, well, why are they intentionally making these characters ugly? You must have gotten a full stretch with all that reaching you're doing, fam.
Like, it's like basically an approval perception argument.
Come on,
Come
bro.
on, I want to see
Lock in.
the Ghost of Yote
And
numbers.
also, by the way, it's
I want
disproven
to see his
every
reaction.
single time in every single game.
Really? What are you even saying is being disproven? What do you even think my argument is at this point,
I need to see
Asmongold?
it.
You've completely lost the plot and started
I need
making
to
up
see
your
it.
own shit along this journey. You're saying I'm basically upset at nothing, which is funny because I'm just tired of you guys getting upset over nothing and burning all meaningful gaming conversations to the ground in the process. I just feel disappointment, bro. Like, this tweet really just describes everything in a nutshell,
Right.
bro. Because, like, dog, what the fuck are you talking about? And the real irony of this tweet, it came out October 8th. The caption
Here it
reads,
is.
if
Here it
Ghost
is.
of Yote made Atsu look like this, the game would have sold 1 million copies by now. The
Facts.
game came out October 2nd and sold 1 million copies the first day, which means
No, it didn't. That was from a third-party website, and there's no definitive proof of that at all.
Oh.
The place
Here it is. There it is. Like I said, when their predictions fail, they will find every excuse to not own up to, I guess I was wrong. They could always just say, oh, I guess I was wrong. Okay, the game did all right. You know, I thought it would probably underperform, but I guess I was wrong. They can't say that. They have to operate under the idea that their predictions and cultural insights are flawless. They're tapped in and know exactly what's going on. And so, yeah, when you confront them with the fact that actually the numbers do not agree with you, they have so many excuses. One of their favorites, like whenever a movie that they expect to bomb doesn't, like a Disney movie, they claim Disney bought tickets to inflate the numbers.
He seems sure of that.
Or Sucker Punch Games, which are the developer, published anything about the game having a bunch of sales.
Okay, fair enough.
Like, this is a third-party resource that has derived the sales numbers, but they don't actually know that.
So you're sure
There's
we don't
been
have
no,
it?
I think it probably did sell over 1 million copies. Did it sell over 1 million copies on the first day? I don't think so. Probably not. Maybe. But, like, I mean, Ghost of Tsushima
Like, Ghost of Tsushima was massive.
was very...
Oh, well, first he was saying that he's completely sure that it didn't sell 1 million first day. Now he's saying he's not sure.
So maybe it did. I don't know. But, like, I do know that he doesn't know. And I know that I don't really know either.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I like that. I can appreciate the slight backpedal in acknowledging you don't know either. In the name of accountability, I'll be honest. You are right that at the time of making that first vid, PlayStation themselves had not confirmed 1 million sales on the first day. I thought it was confirmed by PlayStation at the time, but it was a third party, and that was my mistake. Many claims and reports still say it did 1 million the first day, but there's no confirmation from PlayStation. However, something else did get confirmed by PlayStation. Ghost of Yote sold 3.3 million copies in the first month. With numbers like that, I'm willing to bet it sold 1 million or more by the time this dumbass tweeted this tweet. And by the way, that's 3.3 million copies sold with Atsu looking the way she does.
You're going to go in...
Isn't that literally 3 times the sales of Stellar Blade in a month, by the way? Like, Stellar Blade's lifetime sales, that's 3 times that.
Not sure about that? Well, I mean, I'm sure that I'm not sure.
Fair enough.
And
Fair
I'm
enough.
sure also that he's not sure.
Okay.
I don't know why he'd say it. It sold 3.3 million copies.
By the
Steam
time
DB,
this
yeah. It's our first
dumbass
day.
tweeted this tweet, the game
And
had...
you know what I'm saying?
What are you saying?
Is that it could have been 3.4 if she looked more attractive.
Sex sells, but it
and that's basically the that's the gist of it. That is genuinely the gist of Asmongold's commentary. I know. Listen, like everyone from Nick Fuentes to Asmongold, I swear to God, I will bet my soul on it. The vast majority of their audience, like if you were to get the median age of their audience right now, it probably hovers around 15. I genuinely think a lot of these people are just being watched by teenagers who hear what sounds like a reasonable cadence, and they think it's a reasonable argument. They hear arguments that, for them, they've never heard before. I know these arguments to all of us sound tired and dumb and old, but, like, they're new to a lot of people. My coworker is 38 and watches Asmongold. Don't get me wrong, there are exceptions, but I would be willing to bet, like, everything, that the average Asmongold viewer skews closer to 15 than to 20. Like, I think it's mostly, especially right now, a lot of teenagers. I think at one point, it was a lot of boomers. Like, there's still a lot of older people from, like, the WoW days, probably still around. But his recent heel turn, the last couple years of heel turn, has definitely brought in a much wider, young, teen audience that hears arguments like that, and it computes to them. It is so hard, having once been an Asmongold fan, to see how far he has fallen, man. It is so difficult. Like, it's like seeing one of your family members slowly succumb to dementia. It's sad. It leaves you feeling hollow inside. Anyway, folks, if you enjoyed this video, if you found it entertaining, educational, or enjoyable in any way, then please consider leaving a like, a comment, or a sub down below. It really helps a lot. And of course, comment down below Asmon molds if you want to help boost the video in the algorithm, and tell me that you watched this far into the video. It really does help a lot, and it's totally free. But hopefully I'll see you next time, and hopefully you enjoyed this video. But have a good one.